Yeah, I think so. I think that when you get when you are able to grind out results and also play good football while you're doing it,
Mm.
it's also a sign of like they're ready to win the league. And I think they are ready to win the league in a sense that they've had experience of winning the Champions League. They've gotten to the final of the FA Cup as well.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Yes, people, another edition of Knightz and Roundtable Discussions where we discuss all sports all the time. Got my guys, The Truth and ST with me. How are we doing, people?
All good, man.
Bro, like, that sounded depressing. Like, man,
Yeah,
them
no,
are
what's going
recovering.
on? Let's get let me
Man,
I'm,
bring
them
the
are
energy.
recovering
I'm,
from
I'm
bank
just trying to
holiday and
make it.
that.
I'm just trying to make it through the day. I'm just trying to make it through the day. This international break caught me at a good time, though. I'm not gonna lie.
You saying truth, bro? You're trying to hold back from the liquor and that.
Yeah, man. No joke. No joke, man. Cause you see, I'm rough as well. Like, look at all this. Not even fresh.
Stress. Man saying stress.
I
I'm
win this
saying that
hat, like,
Arsenal aged him like 20 years.
hey, my bowling has got worse because of this season. It's mad. It's not even funny. It's not even funny. That's why the hat is on. I can't let people see me. I like the shovel. Like, do you know what happened to Wenger when he came? He looked like young. By the end of his reign, like, man was straight. And now that he stopped here, he's looking all young again. Like
I know. It's true, you know.
It's a madness. People, as usual, football chat is back. We're going to be wrapping up what happened in the Premier League this final weekend. As the truth alluded to, it is coming up to international break, which is hella boring. But we're going to talk everything that's happened previous, and we're going to look forward to what's going on in the future. But before we start, as usual, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Get them likes up, get them subscriptions up, all that good stuff. Share. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And don't forget to join our social media pages as well. Links are in the description. Weekend's just gone. We're going to allow the truth. I think we started with Arsenal for the past 2 weeks. So we're gonna leave them a little bit later on in the show so we can talk neutral. But want to start off with the big game. Well, there were two big games on the weekend, but the other big game of the weekend, which was Liverpool versus Chelsea, ending 1-1 goals from Havertz and a penalty from Mo Salah. Truth, it was a good first half of football. We did say it was going to be a good game. Unfortunately, it was spoiled by the red card, but the red card was much deserved. And then in the second half, it was back to the walls for Chelsea, and Liverpool were on the attack. I wanted to ask you though, because at the beginning of the season, you said you don't see Liverpool as one of the teams that are going to be challenging for the title. In that second half, did we see the reason why you don't consider them to be challengers for the league? Because they couldn't break down Chelsea?
Yeah, I can't. Trust me. Do you know what? Do you know when it went at halftime 1-1? I said in my head, it's going to finish 1-1. Like, I knew my prediction was going to be right from, because the way Chelsea defend, they're tenacious, and we just know Liverpool are just lacking something when they have the majority of the ball. I can't remember the stats exactly. I don't know if you have the stats available, but I know their shots on target in that second half wasn't great. They had loads of shots from outside the box. So breaking teams down is still an issue for them. It really is an issue. But I think they're going to be there and thereabouts. I think they're going to pick up points. I don't think they're going to be at last season, because they got Van Dijk back. They're not going to lose those games to your Burnleys and your Fulhams and all those games. I remember they lost that 1-0 last year at Craven Cottage. So yeah, they're not gonna be doing that this year. So they're gonna be there and thereabouts. I just don't think they're gonna pick up the amount of wins to be challenging come all the way to the end of the season. But looking back on it, I was happy to see a really good competitive game. This was a proper Big Four game. As I said, it reminds me, when I said in the preview, it reminds me of back in the day, that 2004 to 2011 period where we had Grand Slam Sunday and the Big Four were playing. There were tight games, tactical battles, quality football on show as well. So yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed the game, especially as a neutral. I thoroughly enjoyed the game.
No, it was a good game, and it did remind you of a top four battle, because for quite a few years now, we've seen the tactical battles, but they've been dull and drab games. It's just literally settle for the 0-0, and that's it. Whereas these two were going hammer and tong in the first half. And Chelsea looked really good on the counter. Liverpool looked good for the first 20 minutes, and then after Chelsea scored, it dipped again, and obviously the handball and the penalty. But ST, for you, the performance of Chelsea defensively, considering what we saw earlier, as I said, we'll get onto that, for them to go down to 10 men and at Anfield, right, and grind out a result, is that the mentality of a team that are rightly to be tipped to win the league this season?
Yeah, I think so. I think that when you are able to grind out results and also play good football while you're doing it, it's also a sign of like they're ready to win the league. And I think they are ready to win the league in a sense that they've had experience of winning the Champions League. They've gotten to the final of the FA Cup as well. It seems that they have a lot of mentally strong characters, especially in that defense. For example, someone like Rudiger, who people have constantly criticized before, but we can see that he has a leadership instincts in him. You've got Edouard Mendy, who's a very good goalkeeper. And you see that the back four or the back five, sometimes when Tuchel plays it, it's a unit, and he's got the best out of players. Also, how long have we been people have been insulting, for example, someone like Marcus Alonso. However, Tuchel has been able to get the best out of him, if you understand what I'm seeing. And what I'm seeing is Chelsea, if you look around their team, I'm not only talking about winners for example, in their club. They've won internationally. You have people like Kante, Jorginho. These are seasoned winners. So when you bring those sort of characters into the team, I feel like Chelsea is a very strong candidate to win the league. And also, they've got a very good manager who sets them up defensively, gives everyone a role. They're all well aware of their role, and they all do their role perfectly. And for me, they're the favourites, to be honest.
No, 100%. And just me being obviously the only defender on this chat, what I saw in that second half was unbelievable. I mean, when you think about the front three of Salah, Mane, I know Jota came on because I think Firmino picked up something at the end of hamstring, or something like that. And even they brought on Thiago as well, and to see that they were able to just nullify them and keep them long shots only. There was nothing. I think only Jota had a header in the penalty area. I think that's the only one I can remember. Everything else was from outside of the penalty area. And to keep the shape, keep the discipline, and have the mental strength to keep it. Remember, they're at Anfield. It's not like they've gone down to 10 men at Stamford Bridge. They're at Anfield, which is a cauldron of fire. The fans are up. Obviously, Liverpool are up. Their tails are up. They're thinking, all right, cool. They're down to 10 men. We can go and absolutely blitz this team. And Chelsea held out. And to get, I think if you saw the end of the game, you saw that they were celebrating. Tuchel, Chelsea team, because they're like a point down to 10 men at Anfield. Absolutely brilliant. Truth. The narrative was Van Dijk versus the fat man. Right? And from your perspective, I know what I saw. But from your perspective, what in that first half, because we can't really focus on the second half, but in that first half when it was 11v11, who do you think came out on top in that battle?
If you're looking at it from one-on-one, definitely Van Dijk. Van Dijk did, and this is what I said in the preview. Van Dijk is a smart player. It's not going to be a physical battle. He knows when to go in, when to drop off, when to allow him to turn, what to allow him to do, the little nudges, the little shirt pulls, just to get him off balance, to slow down the momentum. Van Dijk is built differently from all other defenders in the world. So I knew Lukaku was going to have an issue. But what Lukaku did do at times was draw attention to him. He did draw attention. The Liverpool players were worried about crosses coming into Lukaku. So it did give the other players space. And I think that's what Tuchel wants from a coaching sense. If I'm coaching that game, I'm doing the same. I'm telling Lukaku, don't worry about being dominant. Don't worry about being the hero of the story. Let's concentrate on attracting players towards you. Let's concentrate on getting them outnumbered. And that's what it was. So if you're looking at the one-on-one, I think Van Dijk definitely came on top. He showed why he is, not only why he was missed, why he's probably the best defender in the world right now, because Lukaku was pocketed. But in a team performance, if I'm Tuchel, I'm not angry. If I'm Lukaku, I did my job. I drew my player towards me. And who knows what could happen in that second half. So, if there's 11 versus 11, it was a very enjoyable game to watch. So, yeah, inconclusive right now. We see how it goes when it's 11 versus 11 at Stamford Bridge and whatnot, or they come head to head again.
No, 100%. 100%, you're right. Van Dijk came out on top. Obviously, that's another big game that Lukaku hasn't scored in, which I predicted. But the truth was right. He did draw attention to the Liverpool players were scared, and he did draw attention. He drew players away, and ST in doing so, it freed up Mason Mount and it freed up the goal scorer in Kai Havertz. And in that first half, they were causing nothing but problems for Liverpool. But ST, for you, Kai Havertz, there was a lot spoken about him last season, as these foolish pundits like to do. They like to write off people after 2 games. Kai Havertz, new to the country, new league, had COVID, and we know the lasting effects of COVID. People, if you know, Truth was talking about that last season, saying the lasting effects of it and how long it's going to take to recover. And then once he seemed to get over that, towards the end of last season, he looked good, and he started this season good as well. So are you expecting us, and obviously he has Tuchel and not Fat Frank. So are you expecting this season for us to see the real Kai Havertz? Will he have just as big a role to play as the fat man in this Chelsea team if they're going to win the league?
I think he will. And I think what Tuchel will try and do is he's going to try and get Havertz and Lukaku to play with each other. Maybe Havertz playing off him. And I think it's going to work for 2 reasons. One, Havertz is actually quite a very, very intelligent player. He knows how to pick the correct pockets. He's always got his head up. He's always looking to play forward positive. He does these little late runs in the sense that once you cross the ball in, he's able to, a bit Lampard-esque, but if you understand what I mean, late runs into the box. And he's quite tall as well. So he utilizes that. However, I think he's going to be good. And the simple fact is, I think TJ might disagree with me, but I think Lukaku is probably the perfect partner for him. And you've got Timo Werner, who will also occupy space in the sense that he has his speed and that will take out defenders. I think that him and Lukaku are going to link up for a lot of goals this season, and it's going to be. And I think that Chelsea are going to be the favourites, and I think that Kai Havertz is going to show the world why he's such a decent player. But then we also know how, these British pundits, some of them don't understand football. They don't understand the nuances. So
yeah, it's true. It's true.
I couldn't have put it any more politically correct myself in terms of the pundits. But now, listen, look, I've already said, as much as I get onto him, that I have Chelsea as favourites. And I think that you're 100% right. I think that Havertz and Lukaku are going to link up a lot. Lukaku's going to occupy defenders all the time, and Havertz is going to get into the spaces that he's left behind. Same thing with Mason Mount, even though I expect the great Mason Mount to drop off. He
has a little bit this season, so
yeah.
Like I don't expect much from him.
But I think everyone's going to benefit from playing with Lukaku. When Ziyech comes back from injury, Pulisic as well, even Timo Werner.
So stacked.
I think even Timo Werner is going to benefit. Maybe Lukaku can tell him how to finish. but no, I think even Timo Werner will benefit from playing with Lukaku. So, at this moment in time, I see Chelsea as heavy favourites right now. But I do believe Liverpool will be there or thereabouts, and no one can write them off. I think if you finish above Chelsea, you win the league. I think if you finish above Liverpool, you're finishing second or first. For me personally, but it was a very entertaining game. Unfortunately, it did get spoiled by the red card, which was a red card, by the way. Rash, it was 100% a red card. But we'll see what happens in the future games and see where both of these teams will go. But we're going to move on because there was another big game.
Man's calling that a big game, you know.
There was another big game on the weekend. Even if it's not a big game by the current status of one team, on a global scale, it's still a big game. And that was Man City versus Arsenal. Which finished 5-0. Oh, bloody hell. Truth, look.
Man said, oh, bloody hell.
Truth, look. There was no expectation of our... Wait, but there wasn't.
Rob, there was expectation for a goal, at least. I don't care.
For me?
I would have taken 7-1. I would have taken 8-1. Even give me 9-1. I just wanted a goal. How are you gonna go a whole month without scoring a goal in the Premier League? Like we literally turned into a full-on meme now. Like it's not even funny. Before we were a banter club, but now we're just a literal walking meme.
Oh, but hold on, can I just clarify? Listen to banter. I'm actually dead serious. I'm just going off memory. There was a spell in last season where you lot didn't score. Wasn't there another month where you didn't score? There was only one goal.
They scored like 1 or 2 goals.
Yeah, we scored 1 goal. No, we scored a goal. I think it was a penalty or something. So that was going to be our goal of the month.
But now they have no goal of the month, you know. Training.
Their video, bro, their phone cameras and that showing the goal of the. Oh dear. But
they
anyway,
have to use under 23s or something like that.
Oh my days, bro. It's...
But man, Chelsea is not free.
Look, there was no expectations. No one expected you lot to win the game. It finished 5-0. The manner of the performance is what must bother you the most.
No. It's not even the manner of the performance. It's not. We saw that the first two goals before the sending off, City didn't even have to work for, right? Because the first 10 minutes, you actually look bright. You actually looked bright. We always do, even against Chelsea. But there's a thing where teams don't have to try hard against us to score. What concerned me wasn't the performance from Arsenal. It was the tactics on show. It's either the players are not responding to Arteta or these are the tactics. I remember you saying in the preview, you said this about why our teams with people that are like 5'8", 5'7", scoring headed goals against us. And it looked like the strategy was to let the cross come in because there was no pressure on the cross. There's no pressure on the crossing person at all. And you're thinking, it's a strategy. What, City have no striker. They've got no one to be afraid of in the box. surely you got 6'3", Callum Chambers, 6'3", 6'2", I think, holding. Surely they're not gonna allow someone that's what 5'9",
Yeah.
8'5'9", score a header against them, and that's exactly what happened. So you have to look at the strategy because these things shouldn't be happening. Like from a defending point, as a defender, a good defender, yeah, you don't even need to be touch tight to Gundogan. You don't even need to be touch tight.
Mm-mm.
You just need to look. You just need to know where he is.
Yeah.
And that will
Because
put him
you beat
off.
him every time.
Yeah. Yeah, I would even, if it was me, I would even allow Gundogan to get the header. Even if I wanted him to get the header, I'll allow him to get the header. All I need to do is just one little nudge.
Yeah.
And I know he ain't doing nothing. One small nudge.
Nudge in the penalty area. Right,
Yeah.
if you do it right, referee's not giving nothing.
He's not. You could just walk into him, pretend to jump. There's ways to get around it. He's not scoring nothing. For him at 5'8" to score a header, he needs to have a clear jump. And that's what he had because I don't know if it was Callum Chambers or Holding. They had no idea where he was.
It was
I think it was Callum Chambers, yeah. He had no idea what he was. And then it comes back down to Callum Chambers doesn't even play centre-back no more. Mm-hmm. He doesn't even play centre-back no more. So I don't blame him for not knowing. And then we got Kolasinac that didn't even know what he was doing all game. The strategy for me right now, it's shocking. And then the second goal, again, you got one of our players just going down, falling down. Where is the tenacity? Look at the way Chelsea were defending, hungry. All their players loved it. It's like our players don't even like defending. Our players don't like defending. There's no love there. As I said, for me, I know there are bigger issues, but it's come to the point where we're at the extremes. I think you know what I'm talking about. You know when Mourinho was in charge of United, you guys knew that the Glazers are an issue and they are bigger problems than Mourinho. But Mourinho became so bad, it became so horrible that he just had to go no matter what. Even if you brought in Alan Pardew over him, you guys would have done it because it got that bad. For us, we're in that state right now. It's so bad.
Said Alan Pardew.
Bro, it's so bad. Arteta needs to go. It's so bad. Like he needs to go. He's either lost the players or those are his tactics. Both are very bad.
I think he's lost both, if I'm being honest, man.
Then boy, he should have gone yesterday.
Agreed.
Look. I said Alan Pardew, blood. Look. It was awful. It was awful, and this is coming from a Man United fan. But as I said, I have my nostalgia glasses on of how growing up, us versus Arsenal, all the rest of it. But I hate seeing big teams struggle this bad unless it's Chelsea or Man City. And I think you just look at the. I went through the stats. So obviously we know about the 81% possession. And City having 81% possession, you only have 19%. City having 25 shots. What I didn't know was that you lot only had one shot in the whole game. That's what I didn't know. Man, that's a lot, man.
That's a lot.
Like, that's what I didn't know. And I was just like, brother, that is crazy. And City could have scored a lot more, but Granit Xhaka, right? Oh, mate. Look, that's his fourth red card in the Arsenal shirt. He's got the most red cards as a player since he joined Arsenal. Right, that's his fourth. And however many yellow cards he's got. He's given a contract extension, right? He was given the captain's armband last week.
How about Oba's captain? Oba came back.
No, not the City game, the Chelsea game. The Chelsea game.
And Brentford.
And Brentford, right? I think they wrote in the programme, we're glad to have Granit Xhaka, he's a leader, this, that, and the other. This is what and it sends such a bad message. And it makes other fans banter you lot, but it sends a bad message to the youngsters that you can do so much fuckeries. On top of that, man was basically bending over for Mourinho at Roma, yeah, before he got the contract extension. And this guy clearly doesn't care about Arsenal. Man jumped in two-footed, lad. Man jumped in like he jumped off a diving board, yeah, and tried to take man out, and then tried to claim that, because I was seeing a lot, because I don't know if truth if you saw the whole Pogba thing, the Pogba thing and whatnot, and obviously we can dissect that later on. But I was seeing people write that, oh, if it was Xhaka, it would have been a red card, or Xhaka wins the ball and gets sent off, but Pogba did it. People, do you actually realise what Granit Xhaka done? Pogba's tackle was off instinct. Granit Xhaka premeditated what he was doing, bruv. Like, to jump from that far, right, 2 feet off the ground, studs showing. I think, was it on Rodri? Was it on Rodri that it was?
I think it was on... Don't know if it was, I'm thinking Bernardo Silva. I'm just off the top of my head.
Oh,
yeah,
Bernardo
top of my head,
Silva.
I think it was Silva.
Bernardo
yeah.
Silva. If Bernardo Silva's leg is planted,
That's it. Broken.
That's it, right? So just to clarify that for you dumb fans that don't know anything about the laws of the game, right? How bad does this now look on the Arsenal board and Arteta that they have extended a man's contract? By the way, it wasn't last season, it was the season before, where a man told the fans to fuck off, threw the captain's armband through his shirt, and he was supposed to be out the door. How bad does this now look on the board and Arteta that this is the man that they've now backed and has let Arsenal down again?
The joke is I gave my whole soliloquy and I didn't even touch on Granit Xhaka, because for me, he is the main person that signifies our downfall. At no other team in the Premier League, I believe, would Granit Xhaka would be allowed to be anyone's linchpin. He, at best, he would be the best player in League 2 in Germany. at best, I'm being honest, at best, he'd be the best player in League 2 in Germany.
Some Arsenal fans are saying that he's the best midfielder you got.
Those Arsenal fans are absolute idiots, because they go on fake stats about him. They just go on dumb, stupid stats. The fact that he is supposed to be our linchpin, so he gets the ball more often than not. If you put a better player, even a little bit better player in his position, if you put a Ruben Neves in his position, that doesn't make nowhere near to even a quarter of the mistakes Xhaka makes. No, I think one red card Neves had, even that's off the top of my head, I'm guessing. This guy is a liability every season, and he signifies our fall from grace. Ever since he has come to the club, it's just been getting worse every season. And the fact that we gave him a new contract, that shows how incompetent from board level to management we are right now. And I want them all out. If I told these Arsenal fans, it's a call to arms. They don't want to take it up. Then let the club rot. If they're serious about wanting the club to do better, then they have to go and start doing something about it. We said last week, we have spent now over 150 million pounds. Tell me, is this club, have we improved the team? Have we improved the team?
It's getting worse.
We haven't improved the team, and we spent the most money. We spent the most money in the league, and we haven't improved the team. Surely something is wrong. And then you got players, I know it's not obvious, but for example, Wolves get Renato Sanchez, or I think they think for Renato Sanchez.
Yeah,
Why can't we go for Renato Sanchez? Because freaking we have Granit Xhaka. I know it's a long shot, but Edward Camavinga last season was available.
Yeah.
We were linked with him. This season, early, he was available. Madrid are just going for him now because they're not spending that money on Mbappe. So they said, oh, we might as well go get somebody. Yeah. So Camavinga's gone there. Why couldn't we go get him the last 2 seasons? Because we got Granit Xhaka.
Bro, even Basuma.
Basuma, we could have gone
Basuma's
so
twerking for
much.
you,
I-
man.
So
What
many people, but we're not getting. So there's something wrong at board level. There's something wrong at board level. Edu, I thought he would be good for the club, but he clearly isn't. He clearly hasn't been good, and then just needs to be changed. And look, the board came out and said, I think recently, that they don't want to change it now because
all the money they spent in it.
all the money they spent, they need to give Arteta a chance. You don't need to smell dog shit if you step in it. You don't need to smell it to know that it's dog shit. You just know it. He's not going to get better because his tactics are awful. Once you've lost the players, remember the substitute teacher that used to come in?
Oh yeah.
If that substitute teacher did not get your respect on the day one, that was it.
That was it, bruv. Not even day one, bruv. If they didn't get your respect after 15 minutes, that was it, bruv.
Exactly, that was it. You know how much substitute teachers never came back? Because that respect was gone after the first few seconds. If they told you to be quiet and you said, shut your mouth, that was it. That was it. You needed to get that respect from day one. That respect has now gone out the window because of all the bad decisions, the bad things that he's learned from Pep, in terms of man management, in terms of team selection, rotation, in terms of putting people in different positions, in terms of ostracizing some people, your Ozils, your Guendouzi's, Saliba, Maitland-Niles, what's his name, Reece Nelson, Willock. Like I don't know if he like Pep, he's got a minority issue because it seems to be loads of minorities in there.
You don't like the Frenchman and then the other.
Hey, I'm telling you, there's something people need to look into that. Pep and him, I don't know what it is about these guys, but that's a story for another day. But
yeah,
it's not good, and it's not gonna get better anytime soon. Like, hold this space. That next game for me is make or break. If we lose or draw against Norwich, because they are rivals, it's a 6-pointer. It's a 6-point. You guys are laughing. It's a 6-pointer. It's a serious game. Norwich are gearing up for that game. You know, they're coming. They're confident. We got a battle on our hands.
The man Pookie, yeah.
I know, and they get your boy Brandon Williams is gonna cause us some issues, bro.
Oh my days, bro, that crap guy, bro. Don't talk to me about him.
Anyhow, Brandon Williams scores, hits top wins against you. You lot are finished. That's a crap.
Hey, if we lose that game, because it is a relegation 6-pointer, he's done. He's literally finished. He won't be able to come back to the stadium, Arteta, because the fans will riot. We can't lose against our rivals. you guys are laughing like I'm joking.
Oh man.
I'm being realistic now, yeah. I'm being realistic now. We can't keep on having dreams of Champions League and top 4 or Europe when we're in the position where we are.
You lot won't get relegated, man. God.
I'm not saying we're gonna win. I'm just saying that we're in a relegation battle right now.
And it's true when you look at the facts. 3 games played, no goals scored, 9 conceded. They're 20th. Arsenal Football Club is 20th in the Premier League. I think, what was it? Since 1954, is it truth or something like that?
West Ham?
Something like that.
West Ham was the last team, I think, in 1960 to even have such a start. West Ham, since that far back, that's over 50 years ago, a team has started as badly as us, and we're supposed to be a top side. And considering those stats that we did play Brentford for one of those games.
Exactly. It's not like it's not that we can understand that you played. The thing is, Chelsea at home is a game which you don't normally turn up, but it's still a difficult game. Man City away is Man City away. I think that's the 9th time in a row they've beaten you or something like that. So, but you did have Brentford, the Championship side, albeit away, and they were up for it. But to get nothing, like you've got to put everything into context. Yeah. Finally, truth, because I know you only want to spend a short time, but this is the last thing on Arsenal, and you brought it up. Obviously, the next games: Norwich, Burnley, and then the North London derby. You said if he doesn't win at Norwich, he gets the sack. I personally don't think he will.
Really? If he doesn't win against Norwich?
I think if he doesn't win this, I think the board will still let him stay. I think the next step for him is that North London derby. So I think if he were to lose the next 3 games, I think after that, especially
That's
that
too
North
much,
London,
man. That's
especially
too
after that
much.
North London derby, I think then he'll go. But what I wanted to ask you is, has Arteta become too arrogant for this job? Where in which, because he was with Pep, has that rubbed off on him? Because you mentioned these ostracized players. He doesn't seem to take responsibility for what's going on. I think he said that if the fans aren't backing this team, then they're fake fans or something like that. Is he now becoming too arrogant for the job? A, because of him being behind Pep, but B, because no matter what seems to happen, the board continues to back him.
The problem was that FA Cup win. Now that we have hindsight, we know that that win was because of the new manager bounce and just basically the new manager bounce, change of tactics right in the middle of the season. When you change your tactics, teams take a while to adjust to your tactics, and that's what we used, and that's what got him the FA Cup. But that really covered the cracks. And I see it now. As I said, I'm man enough to own up to my mistakes. I know when I'm wrong. I'm not going to be like these fans and say, "Oh, I told you so," or try to skate around the issue saying, "Oh, Arteta." No, I was wrong. I honestly thought that given his education, that this would be the perfect role for him. I wanted a young manager so we can have it for a long time. I wanted another long-term project. But I can honestly say I was wrong. Arteta definitely is not the man. As I said, he's learned bad practices from Pep, because Pep isn't perfect. He has a few bad things on his record. And that FA Cup was really, really bad for us because it led us into a false belief that Arteta is capable when he really, really isn't. Really isn't. So it's not even a thing of arrogance. He's just not good enough. He's not a manager right now. He needs to go and finish his education.
Fair enough. And people, we shall watch this space. Norwich, the 6-pointer, is the next game for Arsenal after the international break. Unfortunately, we couldn't even get on to the whole Aber and Laka fallout, but we're going to leave the truth alone
Maitland-Niles and the
Maitland-Niles and all the rest of it. We're going to leave the truth alone.
It's another thing, so let's allow it now.
Because people, he didn't want to talk about Arsenal again, but because they are the news right now, we had to. We're going to move on, because from Arsenal being rock bottom of the Premier League, no points, no wins, no goals, when we shoot up to the top of the Premier League table, the other team in North London is top. 3 wins on the bounce, no goals conceded. Tottenham Hotspur, Nuno's come in. He's trying to get the team to play that he wants them to play. But from a defensive standpoint, they're looking decent. I mean, they've got the fridge of all fridges at centre back in Eric Dyer, and then to quote Expressions, shout out my boy Expressions, that Colombian PS4 bruv is at centre back as well, and they've kept 3 clean sheets on the bounce. So from that perspective, how would you rate Nuno's job defensively? Considering how many goals we saw Tottenham leak last season under who was Tottenham manager under Jose. Under Jose, how high would you rate Nuno coming in? Because we know at Wolves he was a very defensive coach. So how would you rate him getting the best out of these players at centre back?
I was going to say I wasn't surprised, because as you just said that Nuno is very good defensively. You see his Wolves teams, they pride themselves of being really solid. He usually plays the back 5. So I'm not surprised about Nuno's defensive capabilities, but he's also got Tottenham playing all right football as well. All right football. I think personally, I don't think he'll continue, but I must say it's a good start from them. I do think that defensively they've been impressive. Eric Dyer and Sanchez seem to have formed quite a decent partnership, and it's in a way as bad as it sounds. Dyer is better at reading the ball, and Sanchez is the more athletic, and even though it's at that level where they're not the greatest of defenders, it's like they complement each other in a weird way, if you understand what I'm trying to say. And I think Nuno has got them working to both to their strengths, and it's helping the team. And yeah, no, honestly, I would say it's impressive, but I'm not surprised because I expected Nuno to be defensively very sound as well.
No, 100%. We've seen what he's done at Wolves. We know what his defensive mind works. They call him the junior Jose Mourinho in terms of his defensive tactics. Truth, I know you don't agree, but listen, they've kept 3 clean sheets, 3 1-0. Was it? It is 3-1-0. 3-1-0 victories. I would say smash and grab, especially the Wolves one. The Wolves away what was a smash and grab, but they looked pretty impressive against Man City. Let's be fair, because Man City didn't look that threatening. Obviously, Wolves are smash and grab. Watford, to be honest, I didn't see the game, so I can't comment on that. But what are you thinking of what you're seeing from the top of the table leaders, Tottenham Hotspur at the moment?
Obviously, I'm never ever going to give them credit, but in case of right now, even less so, because yes, they've got 3 clean sheets, not going to last because their underlying stats are not great. Teams are getting at them quite easily. Wolves have a problem in terms of finishing. They couldn't finish their dinner right now, so that's their issue. But in terms of Tottenham, I think getting Kane back and up to speed is important. And that's important. Their football going forward isn't that bad. I'll say that they're going forward. They are not that bad, but defensively, they're gonna be found out sooner rather than later. I think they gave up. They were at home against Watford. They gave up like 10 shots or something. Against Watford. Wolves, they were hammered from pillar to post. They shouldn't. And even the Man City game, they caught City cold. So I don't think it could read too much into their defensive performances. I think that's going to be found out sooner rather than later. But for me, there's no change to this Tottenham side to this season than from last season. Like there's literally zero change. They're playing the exact same players. I know they signed Romero, but he hasn't come in yet. They signed a new right back, that Emerson Royal.
Yeah.
From Barca, which is an upgrade on Aurier, but he has to get used to the Premier League and everything. So yeah, for me, not much change. Like you're just gonna end up seeing the same old Tottenham very, very soon. I think much sooner rather than later.
No, look, Tottenham are doing Tottenham things. I think the jury's still out. I think playing Man City first game of the season and getting the result gave them a lot of confidence, especially without Sugarcane in the side. Obviously, the Wolves game again would have given them confidence because it was backs to the wall stuff, and they managed to escape with the 3 points. I do think they'll get found out because as much as you have to credit their defenders, they're still not good enough to be in the Premier League. They're not. But if they do get Sugarcane up to speed with Son, who is fantastic, and I still don't know why he signed an extension to his contract, because he should be playing for a bigger club. But and with the players they got, obviously they got that Brian Gill as well from the
Sevilla.
ST. So yeah, from Sevilla.
Oh yeah,
your team. I'm
pissed off that he's gone. Actually, he's a very good player.
No, they're looking on the up and up, but ST. Can Spurs challenge for the title?
No.
Come on.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
I mean,
I thought you were gonna say top 4. Come on.
Look. They're top of the
Top
table
4
right now.
No. This guy after 3 games. I swear West Ham were top of the table to last round of games. Come on, man.
Look, they're top of the table right now. They've always been in and around the top 4, right? They've got a new manager in. The fans are allowed back in the stadium. Sugarcane is going to be hungry. Like, why can't they challenge for the top? I mean, the league.
they don't have the players in general. I think honestly, I think I look at their midfield and their defense, they're not the strongest, and I feel like Son and Kane are getting goals because they're excellent players. If you understand what I mean, they can they create chances mostly by themselves, and I think that's not a sustainable way of playing. And if one of them gets injured, it's going to be a problem. I just don't think Tottenham are strong enough in the midfield and defensively to sustain it. And as much as I like Nuno, there are times where they're gonna be under the cosh, or it's gonna need that bit of like magic in the sense that pattern of play to break down a team. And I feel that as good as Nuno is with his defensive football, I feel like he's gonna lose a lot of games or draw a lot of games to the smaller teams where it's gonna cost him. So I don't think Tottenham are there yet. There's still a few players away from actually challenging for me. I'm being honest, but I do like Nuno as a manager.
Fair enough. I mean, you summed that up well. Truth, in terms of top four, can they? Oh my God!
Nice.
I'm gonna say no, man.
I know it's not even as an Arsenal fan. It's just, come on, the top four. Their squad doesn't just compare at all to City, United, Liverpool, and Chelsea. Like those you guys, that top four is just so much better than the rest right now that everyone else is playing catch up. I told you, it's like back in the day when you had United, Arsenal, Chelsea, and Liverpool, and their squads were just so much better than everyone else. That's what it is right now. Tottenham, yes, they've got Kane and Son, but we know they don't have the mentality when the push comes to shove to achieve great things. Like, let them achieve a league. Maybe if they win the League Cup, then I'll start to believe that Tottenham are capable of something. But they haven't won a trophy for over, bloody hell,
since 2007, isn't it, or something like that?
2009.
Oh,
2009.
Yeah.
So they haven't won a trophy, for 12 years now. So none of their players know what it's like to win, apart from Luis. I think Luis is the only one that's won the World Cup. Anyone else has won anything? Not off the top of my head.
No,
Son
has won the Asian Cup.
That's what I'm saying. Nothing of any note. Yeah. Even Aurier winning titles at PSG I don't count as anything.
You won the African Nations Cup, Aurier. You know.
Yes.
Yes, he did.
We did.
Listen.
Yeah, so now, but as I said, they really need to win a trophy, man. They need to win a trophy for even me to start taking them seriously.
Fair enough, and maybe they might win that Conference League, bruv.
Oh yes.
A man said we did, you know. A man said we did.
We did, bruv. I told you, bruv. 115, 5 Warrior, bruv. I told you already. Yeah, we'll see what happens with Tottenham. Obviously, they've got more difficult times ahead. We'll see what happens in the upcoming weeks with them. Finally, Truth.
United. Let's touch on.
Go on, bro. Just ask your foolish questions.
So what? It was a great smash and grab. 1-0, bouncing back from the poor 1-1 draw with Southampton. I actually want to ask ST because I know TJ's answer. So I'm gonna jump with the ST first. First of all, how important was that victory? And for me, I want to hear your reasons. I've got my reasons. I personally think United, despite all the amazing signings that you've done this season, have the same issues as last season.
Agreed.
I want you to tell everyone what they are, and I'll explain to you what I think the issues are.
Okay, first of all, obviously I'm happy with the win. At the end of the day, we won.
Yeah.
So that's a great thing. However, it's the same red flags. We don't have a system of play. First of all, we are still reverting back to Pogba in the pivot, which is destroying our creativity.
Uh-huh.
We don't have a system of play in the sense that there's no transition into the midfielders. I feel like we're still a team of individuals. I feel like the players don't know what their actual role is in the sense that I don't know when to press. I don't know when to come back. We still also, I just don't think we're coached very well, and you can see it you can see Wolves, as much as they didn't have someone who was clinical on the day. You can still see that everybody knew their role in a sense. Troy knew what to do. He was given license to do his thing.
Yeah.
Trincao was given license to do his
True.
thing.
Trincao was monster against you guys.
Yeah, brilliant player. I've liked him as
Yeah.
well. So at least we knew what he was doing. Neves was controlling the midfield, literally controlling the midfield, and whereas yes, we have such wonderful players, but if all those wonderful players are not coached, then what can you do? I thought Fred had a very poor game.
Oh my days, bro.
But was Fred poor because he was isolated and the people were just breezing past him like he was made of like he was made of smoke. People were just running past him. For me, I thought he was isolated because Pogba doesn't understand that role. And I don't feel that Ole felt that you guys were going to put on the amount of pressure that Wolves did put you guys under, because it's a change from last season where Wolves would let the other team have the ball. This time, Wolves were very on the front foot from the get-go. So I thought Fred was isolated and the tactics did not help.
Yeah, no. I thought with Ollie, there are no tactics. If his only tactics is relegation football, if you understand what I'm saying. He basically feels like an underdog when he goes out on the pitch. And even with these players, he doesn't I don't think he truly trusts his players. And I don't know why that is, but it's more like an insecurity in the sense that he's well aware. I'm pretty sure he's well aware he can't coach his players. So what he does is he just puts them on the pitch and just prays for the best. Come on, Macy, all them things there, But yeah, man, that's all I can say. Yeah, like this is precisely the reason why TJ said it before.
Yeah.
We're not favorites for the league. For the simple fact is there is no system. We don't have a manager that, when push comes to shove, he's got that. He doesn't even have a Tottenham mentality. Man has he didn't even have a Cardiff mentality because they sacked him. But he has this League Two mentality. So what happens is that we can't actually we can't benefit from him. So yeah, that's where my position is.
My argument is that, and I said it last week. I was like, surely with the team that you guys have, there is enough there for Ole to do what Zidane did with Real Madrid and just manage the egos. Especially, look, Ronaldo's there now, so Ronaldo could coach the team and Ole could just manage the players. Surely that's a possibility.
I was gonna say, and I'm coming to you that with Zidane, yeah, as much as I don't think Zidane's the greatest manager at all. Zidane is intelligent enough to put people around him that know how to manage.
Fair enough.
That have good number twos. I like his number two. His number two was the reason why they were winning the things, because he was the one that was doing the main coaching. He was on the pitch.
Okay, fair enough.
Then you had Zidane that can manage the egos, and they'll respect Zidane as a footballer because at the end of the day, it's Zidane in it. Like, what? Listen, you're gonna listen to Zidane, even if you may not think he's the greatest coach, but he'll give you like individual players who are in his position. Like, this is how I would do certain things. Who's gonna respect Ollie? Ollie was the sub man on his life, man. Like, man came off the bench, bro. I'm gonna be laughing when Cristiano Ronaldo and Solskjaer is gonna be. It's gonna be funny. You think Bruno is a problem now? Hey, you imagine Cristiano Ronaldo. Imagine Solskjaer saying, "Ronaldo, press. Ronaldo, come on, Chrissy, press." Ronaldo will be looking at him like, "You're a fool." He's like, "You stupid fool." You're telling me to press. He'll just look at you like, he'll be looking at him as if he's a fool, man. But you're like, no, that's the problem. Like,
fair enough.
Yeah, that's why I'm coming with that.
TJ, a few things I'm gonna ask you. So obviously, Sancho, first start, he's kind of been relegated to minor news. And when you think that they were chasing this guy for 2 years and it was big news getting Jadon Sancho, I think the European in the summer, him not playing a lot, really affected a lot of his impact because no fan really saw what he can do on the world stage. So I think that affected his impact. I think a lot of the signings, especially Ronaldo, have just dwarfed him. So people are just kind of forgotten about him. And as I said, he was there on Sunday and non-existent. No, I wouldn't say non-existent. I would say not as effective. But was that down to the football? Is that down to him? Does he still have a lot to learn? I personally feel that he didn't finish his education in Germany. Actually, no, I know he didn't finish education because his coaches and senior players were saying it. They said that he felt he should have finished his education before he left. But do you think I know it's still early, can he turn it around under Ole and the amount of attacking plays you have now? Considering there's no Rashford in there, Cavani was coming off the bench, Ronaldo's yet to come in. I know you guys saw Dan James because that would have been too much. Messi, Lingard, I don't know what they're doing with him, if they're keeping him or selling him or what's gonna happen. Can he turn it around, or does he have a real job in his hands? Sancho and Ole, to get that whole team working coherently.
Sancho has a massive job on his hands. Obviously, he's young. He's come. Obviously, he was here at Man City, but he didn't play in the Premier League. So he's got to adapt to playing in the Premier League. He's got to adapt to playing against all these. As we know already, we've said it with so many other teams. Even Timo Werner and Kai Havertz said yesterday, it's completely different. Now, I understand that Sancho's from here, but when you go from playing the football that you're playing at Dortmund to playing the football that you're playing at United, and then compound that with the fact that everyone in Germany plays highline football, and then you're coming up against a Wolves that's going to sit back and coming up against Southampton that's going to sit back. He was always going to struggle. I think you said it as well, that you believe he's going to struggle. I said it, he's going to struggle. So in that sense, he's going to have to learn a lot. He's going to have to grow up quickly, and he's going to have to take a lot in from the senior players around him. And he needs to understand that he's going to go through spells where he's going to fluctuate because of his age. And the Euros obviously put him in a position where it's like, well, I'm not used to this because I was at the man at Dortmund, everyone was talking about me, and now I've been taken down a peg. That's not because he's not good enough. It's because Gareth Southgate's a shit manager. He's Ollie for England. But so from that standpoint, that's when he's going to have to take responsibility and develop his own game and adapt. But what I will say is that the football that he is playing right now at Manchester United is the worst thing that could have happened to him, because you go from being at Dortmund where you're playing in the system, everybody knows their job, everyone knows their role, everybody knows they're pressing high, everybody knows that it's fast-paced football. He knows that he's going to have the freedom to go across the line. He's not going to have to be doing so much tracking back so he's got all that structure at Dortmund, learning so much, playing free-flowing, fantastic football, to come into United and the manager saying to you, do what you did at Borussia Dortmund. So he was always going to struggle. Ole is going to kill Sancho's career. Ole has got Sancho looking like Pepe at Arsenal right now as being the worst signing, right? And that's after 3. And I know it's early doors, it's 3 games, but this is what he does. He kills careers. Donny's career is done right now, bro.
I feel so sorry for Donny.
He can't kick a football right now, and people think that CR7 is gonna come in.
Just on that, before you carry on, because it's a follow-up to my question I asked you about Ole and the style of football. Yeah. From both of you, I want to know, because I hear this a lot, and I don't ever hear a consistent answer with United fans. What do United do with the current players that they have to have a cohesive team? Because as we saw, Pogba struggles in that deeper role, and then you lose a lot up top with Pogba in that role. Fred struggles with anyone else. Well, Fred just struggles in general in that position when they're getting attacked. McTominay is not the answer. Sancho doesn't have that defensive work as of yet, something that he has to learn. So, you know, that's an issue for him. Ronaldo, as much as, and you know this, as much as he was scoring goals for Juve, he was an issue in that Juve side because you have to kind of build your team around him because
You have to play to his strengths.
Yeah. And he's not going to be active in terms of firing the ball into him no more. He's not going to be active in making loads of unnecessary runs. He's not going to be active in terms of pressing. So he's going to be a trigger for the other team to beat the press because they're just going to see Ronaldo and say, yep, I'm going to go past him because he's not going to chase me. He's not going to put me under pressure. So that being said, how does Ole incorporate the side and have a cohesive team going forward? Like, I want to know, like, because I think United are stacked, but I just don't know how everything fits.
So what are you asking? How Ole gets the team to be cohesive and actually play the football?
What works in this team? Like, what works in this team? What do you do? Like, if you vote for Ole, what do you do? I believe if I hear, I get a different answer from both of you.
If I'm Ole, leave. That's what I would do. Leave.
I was literally gonna say the same thing.
No,
I'll be honest. I'll just say there's no point in them being here, unless the most important thing is get a number 2 that is well respected, that has known to do work. You get him to do the coaching.
Forget about coaching. I just want to know about the team. I just want to know about the players.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Let's get the players on the pitch first.
Right. This is what you do with this team. Back 4 stays the same, doesn't change. Okay. What you then do, this is the problem, and this is why I said signing CR7 wasn't the answer, because we need a DM.
Okay.
A DM solves a lot of problems that we're seeing now, but we haven't got it. So in that sense, you have to go with McFred. You have to. You haven't got a choice. You have to. Matic hasn't got the legs. In the big games, away at City, away at Chelsea, away at Liverpool, you have to do McFred. In those home games, the Burnleys, the Southamptons, you go Fred and Donny. And you keep the ball and you monopolize the ball.
Who misses out?
Of what? Oh, I'm going to get to that.
Because if you're playing McFred or you're playing Fred and Donny, who misses out?
What? For what do you mean? Out of them 3?
Out of the 4 attacking players. Because
out of the 4 attacking players,
you've got Sancho, Bruno, Pogba, Ronaldo, Greenwood, Rashford when he comes back.
If I'm Ole, Rashford has to miss out. He has to. He has to miss out. If I'm Ole, if I'm me, Bruno misses out. If I'm me, Bruno misses out.
Oh no.
If I'm me, and I'm gonna tell you why. Right, I'm going to tell you why. But let me finish answering your question first. So, so in the small games, I go Fred and Donny. In the big games, you have to go with Fred. You haven't got a choice. Then it's Bruno, Pogba, Sancho. Apart from the big away games, if I go Greenwood and then CR7. That's where I'm going with that. Because when you play McFred, yes, you lose a lot, but it's just legs. You just have to use the legs and hope for the best. There's nothing else you can do. Pogba obviously gives you the creativity. So will Sancho. And if you play Pogba and you play Sancho, right, that gives the freedom to CR7 to fill the box, and Bruno can hang around on the edge. Okay. And what you do is you play. Our best way of playing is that counter-attacking style. So that's basically what you have to do. You basically give up the ball when you play McFred. Whereas in them small games, if you have Fred and Donny, you can keep the ball and monopolize the ball and play that possession-based football. But I just want to come back to, because you said you can't leave Bruno out. What Ollie will do is it will be McFred. It won't be McFred. It'll be Fred and Pogba, right? Then it will be until McTominay comes back. McTominay comes in. Then it will be Bruno. It will be Rashford. It will be Greenwood, and it will be CR7. And I'm going to tell you why that doesn't work. Who's passing the ball to CR7?
None of them.
None of them. Because what are they all going to do?
They're all going to shoot or run away from the ball.
Oh, see what I'm saying? Even my pen's getting excited, brother. Not my earphones. Oh, no, wait, that's not even the right way. Yeah, they're all going to shoot. Rashford, going to run down the wing, cut inside, shoot. Greenwood, step overs, shoot. Bruno, shooting for all angles. CR7, dropping off, shoot. Because he's not going to stand in the box because no one's going to deliver to him. So it doesn't make sense. But that's what Ollie would do. That's exactly what Ollie would do in that sense. That's why I said, for me personally, Rashford has to miss out. Okay. I know I said Bruno would as well, but if one of them has to miss out, it has to be Rashford.
Okay. ST?
I would have I would say the back four were the same, but it's going to be long because as much as I like Wan-Bissaka, his foot is going forward. It's so bad. But it's like him breakdancing, bro. It's so bad. Bro, imagine. I'm still imagining Ronaldo Wan-Bissaka crossing the ball to Ronaldo. Ronaldo's going to be looking at him.
It's true. Going forward, I've never ever seen a young player get worse at going forward. But
so bad.
Hey, TJ, listen. TJ always insults himself when he goes forward. Yeah, I'm telling you, TJ, you're better than him. Let's be real. That's it.
Only I can roll back the years, bro.
Yeah, see, at least you were doing that, bro. But
midfield. Because we're running out of time.
Okay, midfield. I would say I'd say McFred at this moment in time, and probably Pogba in the 10.
Okay.
I'd probably have Sancho on the right. Bruno on the left.
This is where a lot of United people are actually getting stuck. This midfield area and the front four is a conundrum.
Bruno on the left, and the thing is, I don't even think Greenwood's ready to be playing up front, but I'll probably put him here for now.
Yeah.
And for the simple reason why is because with Bruno, he doesn't work well in tight spaces.
Yeah.
So especially if you're playing in the middle, if you're playing as a striker, if you're playing as a centre midfielder, you have to have wing mirrors and understand where the space is, and you have to go into the space. Whereas I think Bruno is so focused on shooting, in the sense is it really affects his wing play. And if you see the way he passes the ball to his teammates,
oh my God, blood!
He just he passes, he shoots the way he passes the ball. So it's not giving your players time. You know what? Actually, no. Wait, I even forgot about Martial. Sorry, I know he's playing badly, but I'd put him.
I'd have Tony. The thing is, the reason why I couldn't fit Tony in the team is because you need to play. If from Ollie's standpoint, like Pogba's going to be out on the left, but me personally, I'd play Pogba in the 10. I'd bring Tony in. I'd play Tony on the left.
Do you know what I feel you guys? Do you know what I feel you guys' problem is? And I think the fans have gotten too used to it now. You guys are dedicated to counter attack. I think you guys need to have a shift, especially this season where I feel that you're guaranteed top 4. I think you need to just go for games and just try to outscore the other team the old way, rather than just a counter-attack in the big games is fine, but I think in a lot of the smaller games, forget this counter-attacking, just go and try outscore teams, because the team as it is not set up even to counter properly, because
our manager's a coward. That's why he is.
No, it's just the pressure. I just don't think McFred are good enough for pressure. I don't think Pogba in that position is good enough for pressure. I think Maguire is just, trouble. People just target him in terms of his pace.
Trust
So
me, if
I
I
just
had,
think
if Bailly could stay fit, the fridge wouldn't be in my team.
that's what I'm saying. And I think with your attacking thing, just go out and win games. Just
Mhm.
go out and win games. Like even if it's 4-3, go out and win games.
But this
because,
is why I said in the small games has to be Fred and Donny. Keep the ball, keep it moving. Like Donny is so disrespected. So like, how
Hey,
do you
give us him, fam. I swear I would pray.
Listen.
I would pay you guys.
listen?
Pay you guys
Listen.
Xhaka and on top of them get Donny from you guys.
Like, listen, if I could, I would sell him because the disrespect is unreal
They
from
violated
this
him.
frigging guy, bruv. Imagine McMayonnaise is out injured, yeah, and Donny still can't get in the. Like, do you know how much a violation that is?
I know, that's mad. That's
Like,
mad.
it's such a violation. But, bruv, this is Ollie, bruv. This is Ollie, bruv. And everybody thinks CR7 is going to come and save the day. And as I will tell you lot tomorrow, he won't be saving the day.
He's gonna be angry. He's gonna be just cussing everybody. Trust me, you're gonna see it.
I'm telling you. But yeah, guys, we gotta wrap up.
Yes.
People, let us know what you think in the comments. Again, did Chelsea prove that they are here to stay and they are the title favourites? Will Liverpool push them all the way? Will Man City have something to say about it? Will Arsenal beat Norwich in that six-pointer? Are Spurs the real deal? Can they challenge for the title, being top of the table?
Let's not do
as
this.
In this current moment. And United, what are United going to do this season? We always like to hear from you. Put everything in the comment section, as the truth has disappeared and that completely messes with the stream.
Nah, I'm here. What happened? They go black.
Yeah.
You're back.
Oh, no, I'm here.
But yeah, people, let us know what you think in the comments. As usual, before we go, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Get it out there. Tell a friend, share, and keep the buzz going. Want to say thank you very much to my guys, The Truth and ST. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Oh, it's a pleasure, man.
Thank you, man. Always love it.
People, as I said, Bag of the Man them are going to be back tomorrow as just the transfer wrap-up show. We're going to be wrapping up all the big transfers going on. That's why I left the CR7. I gave you a little bit of taster because I don't think you're going to want to miss what I have to say about this guy, to be honest. Also talking about Lionel Messi. Obviously, people, for you, this will be out tomorrow. So you'll be like, oh, why don't you do it? Why is the transfer talk not coming out? But we pre-record a day in advance as the truth disappears again. And I'm going to have to edit that. But people, make sure you stay safe. I hope to see you very, very soon. Peace.
Why did they do that now? Before you